Good day, my friends. Good day and welcome. Welcome to this thing of ours. It is now, as we speak, it's very, very cold. It's 19 degrees in New York City, which is nice. I like it. All of the degenerates are off the street. The skells, the vermin, the demented, the drug addled predators off the street. And if that sounds cruel, I don't think you understand what predators mean. I don't think you grasp the notion of this. It is now 293 days until the election. 293 days. The election will be here before you know it. And right now, I welcome you to sit in and to sit back and to listen to what I'm saying. Many of you might be listening to some particular forum, some stream, something other than actual live as we speak. We do it every day twice, 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. And it's a beautiful mixture of what we do right here. And every day, I want you to think of this as almost I don't want to say an AA meeting or a 12 step because that's not what it is. This is not a recovery. I'm not trying to belittle this, but I think what this is this is a chance for almost a reaffirmation of what we do. How do we figure this out? Because it's very, very taxing. And I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I am telling you that I know what I'm talking about. And I can guide you. Not give you all the answers, but guide you. There's so many wonderful analogies as what we're doing here. Imagine this as being a smorgasbord, as some would say, a veritable endless array of what topics are what. You can read sometimes in your comments the absolute confusion that you have because there's so much going on. And I say that with all due respect. Confusion. Lionel merch available. It's confusing. You really don't know what is happening. You really, honestly, aren't able to grasp what is happening. And I understand it. I understand it completely. There's too much. There's too much. You might glom onto something. You might say, hey, this is interesting, or this is nice, or this is funny, or this, but that doesn't help in the long run. And then you can be sidetracked by something, maybe something that your friend says, maybe something you might watch a particular show, listen to a particular comment. You might have a Tucker or some X thread or something that kind of makes you say, oh, this is interesting. And that's fine. Good for you. Good. Go ahead and do it. But that's a part of it. That's just a part of it. This is so complicated. And whenever you think you've been able to condense it into something, you're missing the point. Now, I want to address something. If there is a model that makes you understand this, please use it. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was going on and on about he was he's very a devout Christian. And he was explaining to me this view that this was about the devil and evil and the second coming. And I say, okay, all right. Everything. This is a fight against evil, and it's Jesus, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. Listen, if that helps you explain it, we're gonna have a hard time dealing with trying to get our Jewish compatriots, our Muslim compatriots, our atheist and agnostic compatriots to join this particular fray because you have said that this is that this is Jesus. This is the Bible. This is God. This is the devil. If you want to go that way, that's fine. But what I'm telling you is that if you can somehow make sure that that is not your lone message, if you think that the sole focus of this is one particular thing, if you think it's all about a new world order, if you think it's all about, I don't know what to tell you. But as long as you're able to work with something, as long as you're able to understand something, as long as you're able to grasp this, and if there's any form of for lack of a better word, any form of understanding that works for you, you keep it that way. So let's begin. First, let me do the preliminary stuff. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Your metrics are so critical in this. See, it's great to hear people and to have people come that we know, part of the family, but it's also wonderful to get somebody in who may not be listening to this. And that's what I'm always trying to do. I'm always trying to send a message to folks. I am not the usual thing. Do you understand that? And this is critical. This is critical. I want people, new folks, to come through and come forward and to be a part of this. And I'm always trying to get new people because I want to dispel. I'm sorry, there are some wonderful folks that we might like, but I think are not necessarily beneficial for the ultimate cause. So I'm trying to explain. In any event, dear friends, on February the 3rd, just around the corner, I'm going to be at the fabled, the story, the infamous and famous Cutting Room in New York City for something which, very frankly, is not like anything you've heard. And that may be a good thing, and that may be a bad thing, and that may be something that you may or may not like, but I promise you, I hate stupid stand-up comedy lunacy. This is the link. Sometimes when I say something, it inadvertently comes out funny because it's satirical. It's almost an absurdist lens that I look things through. So that's the way that goes. Now, one of you fine people wrote something very interesting, and I wanted to get this. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Our good friend Andy Carmen writes, Lionel, should the Donald make reference to Gonzalo Lira being allowed, ALOUD, I like that, to die in custody of an American ally in any of his upcoming speeches? No. No, 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 no. Sorry. Confusing. Keep it very simple. Keep it simple. No, because somebody's going to say, who is Gonzalo Lira? They're going to go over here and they might find him out to be crazy, or they may not like what he has to say. And that's okay. But no, 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 no. Keep it very, very, very simple. Keep it very simple. I would not do that at all. Joe Tacopina or Joe Tapioca, the juridical bombast, has apparently withdrawn from the case. This is very interesting. He is withdrawn from the case involving Mr. Trump and his in the Alvin Bragg case. Very interesting. That's a very, very interesting story, I find. So that's just an aside. So here's what we do. They are, well, a couple of absolutes, a couple of absolute things. I'm going to tell you that whenever I am listening to something too much, I have to move away from it. There are people who only talk about Israel exclusively, and they're very good. Let me see if I can say this to you. They're very good. Max Blumenthal is going to get the Nobel Prize, Nobel Peace Prize, out of doubt. He is independent journalist. The Pulitzer, I don't know if he has to be written, if it's without a doubt. However, dear friends, he is killing people with, well, let me rephrase it. If I'm taking not a break from, but I have to not focus always on Israel, 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 Palestine, Israel, Hamas, Gaza, Israel. That's a part of it. Remember, Eric Bren, the plates. You have a stick, you've got a plate, and you're spinning these plates, and you have to go through them. You can't focus. This is one issue. Okay? This is one issue. Now, what I want to know is everything I hear, and let me focus this. Let me make sure this is our rule. When I look at an issue, if there were no election right now, I'd say, okay, let's look at it one way. But I'm looking at it this way. Very, very simple. Everything has to be played, everything has to be put into the context of how is this best presented during the election? How do we explain this best to the American voter so the American voter understands what needs to be done? How do you frame it in a way that benefits President Trump? If you've just tuned in for the first time, let me tell you, President Trump is the only chance we have of anything changing. He is not perfect. He is not, uh, I mean, he's a lot of flaws. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, he is the only chance that we have. Do you hear what I'm saying? He's it. He's it. Now, how do we explain Israel from his point of view? What should he do? I am telling you, most Americans have no idea what Israel and Palestine have about or are about. They look at Palestinians in a kind of a post 9/11 world of a sort of, well, they're kind of, they're terrorists and they're, that kind of thing. Maybe. The problem he's going to have is we're going to have a hard time saying that we're wasting time in Ukraine in foreign wars, but we are absolutely positively involved in Israel. Now, that may be different. First of all, because Russia's one thing, Israel's different. Israel's our ally. Russia's a big bad guy. Russia's bad. Russia's bad. Putin's bad. This is about Putin. Putin's evil. Israel's good. Israel's our friend. The only democracy. Let me tell you something. America knows nothing about this. If 10% of the allegations in the IJC from South Africa are true, oh my God. So that's one thing. So I'm putting it, I'm a little, and I spend my days, there are these wonderful issues, wonderful presentations, but I've hit critical mass with it. I've got it. I understand it completely. I understand. I don't want to see any more. Max Blumenthal, God bless him, Aaron Mate, others, Mearsheimer, all the usual, not the usual suspects, but the usual people. I understand it. It's time to move on. It is time to move on. That is the issue. I can't spend this. You understand? I can't. I just. It's like there's enough. There's what are we saying? I got 25 plates up here. How is this going to affect? People will not be voting on Israel. Israel is a. I understand how voters think. How do you play this to Iowa? When you go into Iowa, by the way, is Iowa too much? Is Iowa coverage too much? No. Is it? No. Next thing. This is where you want to tell people something. They are planning a coup d'etat. What does this mean? Well, here's the story. Remember, I'm trying to go after, let me just keep saying this over and over and over and to repeat over and over all of the themes, but as they will affect the election. Okay. Now, you love to hear Joy Reid speak. It is par for the course. The majority of the people who do what I do are here for one reason and one reason only: to up the metrics, to up the likes, to up the numbers, to up the subs, to up all of that. And if there's a subject that they like, they will go for it. They will also find a subject that caters to their initial audience, which is fine, makes sense. And they'll lose themselves the in the messaging, so to speak. I don't want to do that. If I only talk about subjects that are in the headlines in our particular group, I'm going to be basically being told I'm going to be programmed by whoever things, whoever they not Fox, but so I'll tell you something, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. Joy Reid is fun. I may throw that out for you and me, but for purposes of the election, nobody cares who Joy Reid is. All you have to do is show a picture of Joy Reid in this one with this. I'm sorry, just show a picture of Joy Reid and just look at the audience. Don't say anything. And just do that. That's all. You diminish what she's saying by thinking that she's crazy. You don't validate what she's saying. Joy Reid is talking about white people in Iowa who are evangelicals and Christians, and they're racist and they vote for whatever it is. Now, what should Trump do? What should Trump do about that? How should Trump address this? Very, very simple. Very, very simple. How does he work this to his benefit? And what does he say that benefits his particular, dare I say, his way of thinking? Well, let's stop for 1 second. Think about what I'm saying very carefully. And by the way, before I forget, let me remind you that we need your support. We need this is critical. I can't believe so many people who like, and sometimes I'm hearing people are unsubscribed. It's the weirdest thing. And you have to like this. These videos being liked, it helps tremendously because I want people to say, this guy's, he's not that bad. That's me, Lionel. He's not that bad. I don't know what I was thinking. This doesn't sound crazy at all. Oh, I'm not crazy in the least. And I will say things that will invariably get you upset if what I think does not necessarily comport with what will benefit the cause. We'll talk about what the cause is in a moment. But in the meantime, a very special word from our very special sponsor. All right, my friend, it's time to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. No purchase necessary. I know a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But listen carefully. What are we talking about? Giza Dream Bed Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. Think about it. And they're monster sellers right now. Listen to me. Slippers. My slippers. Think about it. What do they do with My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. And when they apply that genius to slippers, look out. Look out. Look at the specials right now, but only if you use promo code Lionel. So go to mypillow.com/Lionel. Solid or virgule. mypillow.com/Lionel or call 800-645-4965. Call right now and watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, the best. All right, dear friends, thank you. Now, let's go through this. What is it that we're trying to do? What is it? Whom do I appeal to? Theoretically. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to be me. I know I got to be me. Let me give you a couple of things here which are very interesting. Iowa, people are going they're getting absolutely so nuts. There were some past Iowa caucus winners from what people are saying. Ted Cruz, remember that in 2016? Rick Santorum in 2012. But I think Mike Huckabee maybe in 2008. So this is fine. This is fine. It's kind of interesting. What does it mean? It means a lot. It means a lot of stuff. And it means that people sometimes have never really figured this out. I'm always talking to people about where do you get your news? How do you get your news? Where do you get it from? Do you know what a caucus is? No. Okay. Remember this. Remember what we're talking about. What does this mean to people? Now, one thing which really needs to be done is to explain something. One of the things that people have to understand, especially those who have never come along, who have never heard this before, who think that Alex Jones is crazy. And by the way, that Alex Jones makes more sense now than he ever did. Something happened to him. Now that he came back, when he was in the middle of, listen, anybody who's been through what he's been through, God only knows what kind of horror that is for you to go through something that unbelievable. Okay. All right. So what he's been through is just inexplicably horrid. To have your entire fortune, your everything. I mean, to be, it's got to break you down. And I've always worried about his health and that sort of thing. But something happened. Elon Musk came along and gave him a second chance at life and relevance and criticality. And he's doing some of the best stuff ever. And they're going back and they're looking at what he has predicted. In 2010, he took Rockefeller studies and basically predicted COVID to the point where you can't even believe it. Now you might say, well, listen, a massive, a huge pathogen that affects people is not exactly earth-shattering. Yeah, it may be. That may be. But nonetheless, it's critical that that's what he did. And Elon Musk gave him the oomph. Elon Musk is one of the most important people around today. And Elon Musk, I cannot believe, is that rogue. Maybe it's on purpose. I don't know. I never believe anything as it is portrayed to me. I don't believe this for a moment. But right now, one of the things which you have to understand is that Joy Reid and these people in MSDNC, they're not important. What's important, though, is that they reflect what people are thinking about a lot of things. You see, sometimes, as you remember, I keep telling you, the Breitbart message was that politics is downstream from culture. And this is why I tell you, my dear friends, pay attention to things like Taylor Swift. Not Taylor Swift, but how she's manufactured. Look at crowd theories like Le Bon and others. Look how they are created and manufactured. Look at how the notion of movement, how this works. Pay attention to this. Pay attention to music. Pay attention to what's on TV. Watch commercials. Remember a while back, everybody on TV was biracial, interracial. Every couple, everybody on TV, everybody. I don't care one way or the other. We don't care. Nobody cares about that. If you're going to be biracial, great, whatever. So what? That's not the point. What's interesting is that why is it so important and so critical for people to do that? Why? What is the reason? And the reason was that it shows you a version of the world that they want you to believe. And it's absolutely critical that you understand that. So we look around. So what you might want to do is you might want to have, and all you have to do with Joey Reid is just show her picture and don't say anything. And if you don't know who Joy Reid is, just Google her images and just look. That's it. And don't even say anything. And just say, this is it. Really? Yep. This is it. And this person speaks on behalf of a whole group of people who want there to be race wars. Now, she may not receive the memo directly. She may not be a part of the group that says, now, Joy, you're going to go out there and you're going to say such and such. But for whatever its reason, she and Rachel Maddow and the other guy will sit there and they will talk about how this is white Republicans, white evangelicals, white, 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 white. And then you have Rachel Maddow, who is white. Say, yes, you're right. White. It's the white people. It is the white people. Now, if Trump ever is interested in this, race is a fantastic subject. And one of the things which he explained and must explain to people is a very simple thing. In America, ideally, we have a lot of things that differentiate us. We have left-handed people and right-handed. By the way, one day the plight of the left-handed, I'm dead serious. To be left-handed in the world is horrible. You are a persona non grata. Nobody cares about anything if you're left-handed. But we are a country of left-handed and right-handed and tall and short and fat and skinny and gay and straight and black and white and Nepalese and China, and that's our magic. That is heterogeneity. Our music today, which is the greatest contribution to everything that we have provided, has been a beautiful admixture of Delta blues, Latin, bossa nova, classical, country, bluegrass, torch and twang, hard rock, and it is a beautiful concatenation, a cacophony, a beautiful admixture of all this. That's our strength. It's not one versus the other. But what these people do is they want to always drive a wedge. And what they told the people of Idaho, or Iowa rather, is that they're a bunch of white racists who would vote for me. And what Trump has to say is, remember one thing. When I was president, and you will never hear them say this, I brought down all of the unemployment numbers. Blacks, Latinos, and Asian. Who knew? Asian unemployment cratered. Unemployment cratered. Not employment, unemployment. So make sure they understand what this is. This is an us versus them world. This is what this is. This is us versus them. Be on the right team with the right people at the right time. This is who we are. This is it. That's the next thing. Next, they are planning a coup of coups. What does that mean? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Trump speaking. This may be something which might surprise you. But apparently, they don't like us. When Trump speaks, he always says us. He must say us, not me. Not me. Us. They're suing us. Do you think anybody in this cares about? Do you think anybody really cares about whether an entry was correctly or incorrectly placed as to the what am I trying to say? That an entry was placed correctly as to the payment of Dusty Saddles or whatever her name is through Cohen? No, nobody even understands this. This was Alvin Bragg. He was a DA of New York. He was the first one, ran and said, I'm going to get Trump. So did Letitia James. Nobody even understands what this means. They're coming after us. So in addition to that, there are other people who realize that we are winning, that we, despite what they're doing, that we are winning. And what they're going to do right now is they are trying to say that our message is one of revolution, that our message is one of insurrection, that ours is one of seditious conspiracy. This is the nonsense they're trying to portray. This is what they are telling us. This is it. And we have to ask ourselves a couple of questions here. What are we going to do? Well, let me tell you, the first thing we do is you have to be aware of this. As we speak, they are setting the goal. And by the way, dear friends, listen to me very carefully. What our enemies do is they always tell us specifically what it is they want to happen. There's never anything secret. Never. In China, Xi Jinping is rather crafty because he doesn't announce officially what he's planning to do to subvert the rule of law. Our enemies do. Our enemies do nothing but that. They go out of their way to tell you and everybody else what they're going to do. And they read them. They provide them in white papers, the Rockefeller Institute, the Trilaterals, the CFR. It doesn't matter. They go on TV. The World Economic Forum is one of the greatest things ever. They go there and they proudly, Davos, you name it. They don't care. It's like they're talking in front of you. And they think that all they have to do is spell because they show the ultimate in contempt for you because they don't care. They don't care. This is the thing. And it's white, black, women. It doesn't matter. And who are these people? I call them the shadow government. You can have any word you want, the deep state. Deep state is a word, by the way. I don't like it as much. Deep state is a word, a term rather, that is used that conveys the notion of a kind of a permanent government, so to speak. That there are these people who have been in government for the longest time and they're kind of there and and that's part of it. But they don't go far enough. They don't go far enough. Since the Venetian conspiracy days, from the Borgias to the Vatican to the Rothschilds to the Weishaupt and the Illuminati, the real Illuminati. And I don't think they're around anymore, but there's always been secret groups and cabals and covens and convocations and cadres of people who work together in this focused cooperation to run the world. They play this like this is their own private chess game. They love this. They love to meet, and they think they're so smart. Kissinger did it. Rockefeller did it. Go through the list, and you have people. Bill Gates is enjoying it the most. Now you've got Jeff Bezos, who all he wants to do is walk around with that thing and show everybody, go, hey, look how great I look. He is the fool. He's there just for whatever reason. I don't know. Elon, very serious. Bezos is the only one. Nobody cares. Bezos doesn't care. He just wants to be rich and with that thing and whatever. Bill Gates is a different story. Now remember something. This is the most important rule. If you know their name, they're not in charge. If you know their name, they're not in charge. Barack Obama is not in charge. He's a player, but he's not in charge. He's not scripting, plan, and no. Bill Gates speaks for a lot of people. Bill Gates enjoys being Bill Gates. Bill Gates loves being the voice of this. Soros, to an extent, love that. But the people who really run the show are a different ilk. And what they do is they believe that they run this. And you have world groups. You have members of the shadow government that say, let's work on China. Let's check on this thing called BRICS. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, +6. These are new, a kind of a counter to the Western world, and they pose an absolute existential threat. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Why is South Africa? Let me see. Where have I heard of South Africa? Ah, that's right. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Now they're talking about another world. So there are groups who work for the CFR, trilaterals. They're still there. They're Bilderberg to an extent. They're more international. They're this Western cabal, and they've always pretty much run the show. And they don't know what to do. They used to love China. They pushed China. Kissinger, Rockefeller, they thought China was like this little child that needs our help. The special child who doesn't really fit in without our imprimatur and our approval. Well, now it's a different story. Russia is another group of people. Russia is the sole focus of the basically the Victoria Nuland group, the Nuland and Kagan. Robert Kagan is her husband. This is for the Institute of the Study of War. They've been around forever. And they have pardon my French, but it's a phrase that we use in America. They've got a hard-on for Russia. They are post-Cold War, post-Soviet focus groups who still have this incredible bent, this fixation that Russia is indeed whatever. You understand what's happening? Okay. This is critical. This is the critical message. This is who these people are. They are beyond anything anybody's ever seen. They are so focused on this. And they know, like they play chess, that the American people will not follow this. All they have to do is say Vladimir Putin is evil, Vladimir Putin is terrible, Vladimir Putin wants to nuke the world, Vladimir Putin, and they show pictures of scary pictures of Putin the way he walks, and they have this narrative which a lot of people unfortunately kind of buy into. It's true. They buy into this, and it's kind of sort of scary. It's a very scary, scary thing how these folks they do it almost, and they don't really understand it. They know nothing about the history. They don't know who Zelensky is. They don't know who Kolomoisky is. Kolomoisky created Zelensky. Kolomoisky was a media billionaire who created this. It's like getting Martin Sheen from West Wing. He was a media person to be the president of Ukraine. It was, and he wanted to work with Russia until they said, "Oh no, 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 no." Bojo told him. Boris Johnson said, "Oh no, you don't. Oh no, no, no." Because in this world, power begets this almost like a hypnotic, like a transformation where people say, "We can do anything." I'm Victoria Nuland. I am in charge. I'm into playing like a game of not Clue, but a game of oh God. Anyway, the board game of Risk. That's what I do. I move things around. I'm a genius. Kissinger said that. I'm a genius. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. And yes, there are people who benefit. Yes, there is the military-industrial complex. Yes, yes, yes. But this is a neo-Straussian. Leo Strauss. This is a group of people who believe that the United States must use its power, its ammo, its girth, its lethality to provide and to promote beneficial things, to create this new world where we're in charge. And it's really weird. This is where they say we have to go after Iraq, we have to go after Iran, we have to go after Afghanistan. And these are the people like Bill Kristol and others, PNAC. They actually believe this. And they had the biggest dupe of all time, W, and the actual president, Dick Cheney, who worked together in concert. Sparky, by the way, weighs in. Sparky says, get ahead on the next big thing. Follow the new Atlas with Brian Berletic. Although he reports and comments on all geopolitics, working from Thailand, gives some extra insight into the Far East. Interesting. I will I will look at that. One of many, many people. Sparky, how does that affect the election coming up in 200 and whatever? Now, I appreciate that. Shall we get into some wonderful things? Let us have some wonderful times getting into. I think I have heard, I may have heard the end of Mearsheimer and everyone else. I think they're at the end of their trajectory. And the question I have is, even though they're great, where is the how do I say this? Where is the benefit of this? I don't know. I don't think people want to hear. I don't think people particularly want to care about that. I don't know if this makes sense. By the way, you just 1 second here. I looked this name up. You said it was the next big thing. Is this the new? Oh yes, the new Atlas. Yes, it's very interesting. Very interesting. You know who is There's always more people to follow, and I thank you for that. You know who's also very interesting? Excuse me. People who are missing the point. Douglas Murray. Have you seen how they're pitting people against each other? Have you seen that? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen people who come about all of a sudden, and they're very, very popular? For example, let me give you an idea. Where is Ben Shapiro? Now, these people are not going to be erased from the environment. But where is Ben Shapiro? Where is Candace Owens? Where is the how do I say this? Where are the people like oh the religious folk, so to speak? They were front and center, and they were great. Prager and where is Dershowitz? Now, when I say that, I don't particularly care about Dershowitz per se. Means nothing to me. Where is the message going? That's what I want to know. Where is the message? You understand this? I'm reading some very interesting things. I'm interested in something. You mentioned a good thing about Mr. Berletic, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. The death of Gonzalo Lira, Ukrainian air defenses. Okay. And Russia's growing military capability. Do you think that the death of Gonzalo Lira in the long term means anything on a grand scale? No. By the way, I don't want to be like this. Do you think, have we seen the body? Has that been returned to the family? I'm not suggesting that maybe he's not dead. Is there any form of funeral or anything that can be done? Where Pay very close attention to what is done after the fact. Where are the I guarantee you if something happened to Julian Assange, there would be scores of people. It's all I'm very interested. This is the death of a citizen or death or whatever. But I want to know what precisely happened to him. And how do we know? I don't want to say this, but how do we know he's dead? I take everybody's word for it. Sparky says, "Will the election delay? Will the election delay the next big thing? I can see it being put off, so establishment doesn't look worse. Could be, could be. But let me tell you what we're talking about here, and this is very important. This is very critical. Let me see if I can bring this up to speed. But let me go back to the Gonzalo Lira thing because I want to see this. This is very interesting. How and why this is I'm looking at the new atlas. How and why the Western media is, I believe media is a plural now, but that's me. How and why Western media is lying about Taiwan ahead pivotal elections. Can China save the world economy? Interesting take. Here's one for you. The U.S. waging proxy war through Kyiv. More Russian invasion. Yes. This is 10 months ago. Yes. So this is very interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, dare I say, specific. But let me go back to the whole notion of Mr. Lira. That's inside baseball. That's not going to convey much. And I think it might be a good idea. I'm sorry. But sometimes when people saw Gonzalo Lira sitting here, he looked like a nut. Now, I don't think he was. I think he was very, very smart. But there was a bit of mania sometimes with he. And I'm no expert in this. But if I think I know what mania looks like, I think he exhibited a lot of this kind of this grandiosity. So is it a good idea to alert people to him and say, this is your hero? You got to be brutal about this. You got to ask yourself, is this your hero? I know it means a lot to us. I know we care about him. I know we are very concerned about this, but that's a different story. Let me stop right now and remind you, my friends, that there was a great piece I was reading, again, about preppers and people with water filters and what do we do in case of problems with food, water, energy, and the like. And years ago, the idea of a prepper was somebody who was crazy. Somebody who was just crazy. Somebody who was just wasting their time. The tinfoil hat and the black helicopters. Well, now prepping makes food storage, emergency food availability makes a lot of sense. especially from our friends at preparewithlionel.com. 2024, as I have stated and predicted, will be contentious, scary, and promises to blow your mind. It'll make 2023 look like a walk in the park because the folks who run the show live for chaos and instability and panic. Your panic. Now, many of our problems could be solved overnight, but that defeats the purpose. Destabilization and chaos, that's the name of the game. Now, if you can handle the truth, and I know you can, you need to visit my website, preparewithlionel.com. Write this down, preparewithlionel.com. You'll get $200 off a much-needed and absolute best-selling 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Now listen carefully. This is the country's largest preparedness company. My Patriot Supply is your fighting chance at survival. And I don't use that word lightly, survival. Sealed inside 6 water-resistant buckets, these delicious meals, 22 varieties of tasty breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, you name it, last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories per day. And we're talking 120 pounds of food. Eat right in emergencies with this 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Think about this. This is critical. So visit preparewithlionel.com right now. Order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at preparewithlionel.com. One more time. Go to preparewithlionel.com before chaos ensues. Let me also say that as we here celebrate Mrs. L's birthday week, special birthday wishes to our good friend Donna Lemo. Donna, bless your heart. All the best to you, dear girl. Dear lady, happy birthday to you. And apparently we have someone here who keeps asking, where is Huma Abedin? Over and over and over. And apparently an exhaustive state of, look at me. Does anybody care about that? Anybody think that's important? Anybody think Hillary Clinton has any relevance whatsoever? Anybody? No? Anthony Weiner or no? Anything? Anybody care about that? I mean, you can talk about it if you like. Anybody? No, I don't think so. Now, let's go back to what's going on. What happens? What are people going to be? Let me tell you something. It is the nicest. It's 19 degrees right now. Do you know what one of the best things about a cold day like this is? All of the street vermin, not the people who are, down in their luck, but the criminals, heroin addicts, all the thugs, miscreants, skells, they're nowhere to be found. Where do they go? I don't know. But it's lovely because I live in a world where I like to go and not be accosted by people on the street. I think most of us feel like that. And that's one of the things that Trump has to convey is that there is no sense of order anymore. We have lost our way constitutionally, politically. Crime is through the roof. Borders are kind of a little tough to explain because not everybody lives, among the. If you're not there, you really don't grab it. But he's doing a wonderful job. And I'm telling you, you got to ask yourself the question. The Republican Party has to say, excuse me, what do you do now? They don't want Trump. They don't want him. They absolutely don't. So, as we speak, what they are doing is what Trump has to do is he has to go out and say, let me tell you what they're planning. Always tell people what they're doing. On 2 separate occasions, this is Trump speaking, I was on one time on the Sean Hannity show. And Sean, who was a friend of mine, Trump would say, asked me the question, do I believe in, will I be a dictator or promise you won't be a dictator? And he said, well, I won't be for the first day. And it was a joke. And everybody knows it was a joke. And everybody recognized it as a joke. But the demented shadow government left, whoever these folks were, they said this is from Trump's own words. He plans to actually inveigh against the notion of the rule of order, rule of law, rule-based order. And he said he's going to be a dictator, even though everybody knows it's a joke. Everybody knows it was a joke. It was an absolute joke. The same people, a while back, and this is important, the same people, remember when Trump said something to the effect of, he said, hey, Russia, anybody know where Hillary's emails are? Remember that? And they said, look at Trump talking to Russia. They actually said that. I mean, these people are demented. He's got to bring that out. He's got to show. They're planning a coup. They have taken this and addressed it flat out. They want you to believe that I was responsible for what amounted to a trespass, which we've had before in the history of this country and elsewhere. The same people who looked the other way when it came to George Floyd, and by the way, we're learning a lot about George Floyd. Oh, dear God. St. George of Floyd. Oh, my God. Oh, my. Anyway, the people who thought nothing about George Floyd, the people who like Don Lemon and others who goes, wow, it's just another version of peaceful protest, they're going crazy. They think that these people could overthrow the 82nd Airborne? That this was what? Like a CIA coup? This was Allende and Pinochet? What? They actually, and they're trying to say that I was responsible. They mean this. They mean this. So what are they doing? They're planning a real coup. Smedley Butler kind of coup. Let me say this again. The people who claimed that I was responsible for a coup, which it wasn't, are now planning a coup because they're already saying outright, here's what we need to do. The Insurrection Act has to be repealed. We have to do everything in our power because they see that Trump is getting nearer to winning. Let me explain what that means. If the polls show, by the way, one of the reasons why it was easy to steal the election legally, I say that legally, but one of the reasons why it was available legally was because there was the range was smaller. If however, and by the way, Raul Rodriguez says, how influential is the Academy Awards in world politics? None at all. None at all. No. The question is, how important is world politics in the Academy Awards? That's the issue. But thank you, sir. So what's happening right now is he's going to say they're going to do this. And it's not just for me, it's for all presidents. Tell them specifically what it is they're planning to do. That's all. So, my friends, focus on this. Focus, dear friends. Raul Rodriguez, Sparky, thank you so much for your input today. Thank you for this. Donna Lemo, happy birthday to you, young lady. This is such a great day. Remember, focus only on what gets Trump elected. I am not a Republican. If you can find a better candidate than Trump, go ahead. There is none. There is none. The only way to stop it, think of Trump is chemotherapy. Trump is radiation. Trump is the last hope to crush this tyrannical regime of radical left shadow government ghouls. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. Please like these videos. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your help. Thank you for being who you are. And now please comment. I got the wrong one. That's for the private channel. This is The Monkey's Dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dead.